Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So here's my non-spoiler review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 16. This episode was really everything I thought it was going to be. And I'll say this straight off, the death predictions that I had were right. I did actually get one wrong just because I said that I was wondering if one of those characters were going to die. It never ended up happening. So I got that wrong. For the most part, I predicted it, but it's not how I thought it was going to go. I thought certain characters were going to go out a different way, and I actually thought one other character was potentially going to die that didn't die. So before I go any further, I do have to warn you for it's light spoilers just because I'm talking about characters that I'm not going to give away their deaths too much, but I do want to give my thoughts on certain things. And so it's light spoilers to kind of spoilers. Again, I will be talking about this more in depth this Sunday. We're going to do a big spoiler breakdown for this episode and talk about the future for season 7 and all that. So if you are new to the channel and you want more Walking Dead content or Fear the Walking Dead content, then make sure to hit subscribe. I just posted my reaction to the episode for members. So if you are a member of the channel, that will be available, or it should be available right now. So yeah, and also a new episode of the podcast. Obviously the Forest Day podcast is coming out it's probably going to be out tomorrow. I'm guessing we're going to record a bunch of stuff tonight and that should be out tomorrow. But I want to touch on Fear the Walking Dead in that episode. So if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet on YouTube or on Spotify, then make sure to do so. But let's talk about this episode. So I have a lot of things here just listed down, and there's so much here to talk about. And I'll have to do my spoiler breakdown right away before I lose all my thoughts on this. But there's a lot of stuff in here that they definitely foreshadow. First of all, I want to talk about the emotional stuff this episode. I think they actually did it. With something very apocalyptic like this, where the world is about to end, like some characters, sometimes they won't react appropriately and they won't be crying, freaking out, or they won't be all like, all right, I'm just going to sit here, take this and be very reflective of your life and stuff. And I think they actually hit all of those moments amazingly in this episode. Like, I think they really did. Morgan's line in the beginning, which I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was basically like, make your end worth it. And it was played throughout the entire episode. And I think that line, it was so powerful and it related with what everyone was going through. Everyone tried to make their end worth it, because I think that, yeah, you should try to make your end worth it. And I think that I think in the end, they did. Now, my death predictions, like I said, were actually right. And so that's kind of going into spoilery territory. Now, I thought that Riley was going to go out a different way. Rolly, I thought, was just going to go out from the blast. I wasn't expecting what happened to him. That was actually shocking. When you see the episode, when that moment happens, like, you're not even going to see it. It just happens out of nowhere. Teddy and Dakota and all of them, how certain moments happen. That's kind of like, that's how I thought everyone for the most part was going to go. I thought something would happen between Dakota and Teddy. And I guess how that played out, I thought, okay, that made sense. I thought Riley was going to be with them again, though. It was weird that they never ended up meeting again. It was just kind of that. There's also some revelations there with Teddy and his whole plan on all this stuff, which is kind of cool. There are some other deaths as well, but everything, I got my predictions right, which is like very rare, but I feel like I didn't get them right because I wasn't expecting them to go down like that, really. The episode is structured very interestingly, I'll say that. You have everyone's story playing out at the same time, but obviously you can't have multiple viewings of, like, have each moment happening at the same time. I would like to see a supercut of that, because that every moment's happening at the same time because you hear Morgan's line of dialogue about make your end worth it. It happens for all the characters. They hear it on their walkie-talkie. It all happens at the same time. So for most of the episode, it just kind of plays out as this is the characters' reactions until they see that explosion in the air where the warhead's coming down. And then it cuts back. And then later on in the episode, towards the end, it kind of finishes up on everyone's story and reveals what happens to everyone. And I honestly, like, I have no issue with that at all. I actually liked how they did it, because I mentioned that in a video. I don't know if it was my trailer breakdown or what it was, but I mentioned that they had to somehow figure out a way to make it not so ridiculous. Like, maybe it's something you just overlook, but it would be nice if it felt like, okay, you had 10 to 15, 20 minutes before that thing exploded. And they actually did that. And I felt like that's why I think if you do a supercut of all of this episode is going to look really amazing. If you can have just like what happened to Strand from like the beginning there, or I guess from the end of episode 15 to his end, it would play out very fast. And same with everything that happens with Daniel and all them. And I guess this is kind of spoilery. No, yeah, I know. I'm not going to talk about this here. You'll have to wait for my season finale video, but there are some hints here to the Rick Grimes movie, which I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about when I say that. And I'm actually really interested in what they're planning to do there. Because if you think about where they're going, they kind of have to go there. Where else are they going to go? Or that person could be in a lot of trouble. I'm trying to be very vague here, but so I'm really interested in seeing what happens there. But that's crazy. The fact that happened, and you think of World Beyond and stuff, like they're definitely connecting everything very closely. I'll kind of leave it there for now. Besides that, and like the future of everything, they also did actually. They introduce, I mean, this character is already introduced earlier this season, but it's more like Morgan and Grace's story for the future and what they have now with this character. I think that is set up for the future of The Walking Dead. Like baby Morgan is going to be the future of The Walking Dead. It's MJ, right? MJ and RJ. We have Morgan Jr. and Rick Jr. That is like, they are literally going to be the future of The Walking Dead, in my opinion. And I think that is just so amazing, man. That gives me goosebumps talking about that. I can't believe those two characters, those two little kids right now. And this baby is around the same age as RJ, right? If you think about it, because RJ at this point in the timeline was a baby, probably not even born yet. So this baby is probably a little older than RJ. And yeah, I think that is some powerful shit right there. Like I cannot wait. Like we're going to be talking about that so much in my videos coming this Sunday. There's so much to talk about with the future of this, the movies and everything that they can do, because they're connecting everything. This finale is what happened here is like the CRM are going to be involved. There's going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of questions and answers that they're going to want. And a lot of things are going to get brought up. And everything that I was worried about in terms of John Dory and stuff, you do actually see some encounters between him and Teddy. You do actually get all of that and everything. And the results of everything in that moment, I think are satisfying and I think make a lot of sense. And I honestly, I think it's probably because they all thought they were going to die, but how everything happened and the way the characters were acting, it made sense. This episode was an emotional episode. It was emotional, but there was a lot of action and a lot of just like, this was a reaction to what happened at the very end of episode 15. This episode is entirely that, and it's short and to the point. Every character's I guess story in this episode is very short. It gets to the point because there's a lot of different things you got to get through, right? There's like 4 or 5 different story threads here, and you got to hit all of them somehow and make the ending work really well. And I think they did it pretty well, because if the episode is, at least on AMC Plus here, it says it's 57 minutes, but that's also including an episode insider. And so it's probably about 48 minutes, I would say. At least 40 minutes of it, I would say. 35, closer to 40 minutes of it is them dealing with what do they do next. And then 40 to like 48 is like the end credits, and then them kind of like, I guess it reveals what happens to them. But they did amazing here. Honestly, they did a really great job with this finale. This was a great episode. I don't know what I would rate this. Episode 15 I really liked. Would I prefer this one over 15? I actually would, because it's the end results and because of all the exciting things that happened. But I feel like I wouldn't give this a 10 out of 10. Like, the only downsides to the episode were, I don't know what it is. I feel a little disappointed from all the explosions and stuff, but we actually got a lot. You see a lot of it. Visually, it's amazing. There's some stuff at the end there that looks really cool, especially the scenes with Morgan. I don't know why I feel disappointed. Maybe it's more in the fact that the season's over now, but like, I would rate this episode 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, because there's a little bit of disappointment there, a little bit, but it's not really like, honestly, episode 15 and 16 should have been like a 2-parter type of thing, because they both work really well together. If you watch 15 and 16 back to back, like, that's going to be some amazing television right there. It's kind of like if you think of episode 16 of season 10 of The Walking Dead, that episode, when we watched it in October last year, kind of came out of nowhere. There was no momentum building into that finale, and then when it happened, I just kind of afterwards, like, I was like, okay, it's over now. I was expecting it to go that way, and so I kind of feel that a little bit, but not as much. This finale is still a great finale, amazing. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this, and yeah, I'll leave it here. So if you have watched the episode, post your thoughts down below. What did you think of this? And obviously stay tuned for my spoiler breakdown coming out this Sunday after the episode is over, as well as a season 7 video, what to expect, and a bunch of other videos on Morgan Jr., Rick Jr., the future of The Walking Dead, because there's so much there, a lot of stuff, the CRM and all that. So yeah, I'll leave it here. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.